Part 3, Embracing Empowerment. Discovering the transformative nature of empowerment. Empowerment is the force that enables us to take charge of our lives, believe in our abilities, and pursue our aspirations with unwavering determination. In this lesson, we'll explore the profound impact of empowerment. Cultivating personal power. Our goal in this part of the lesson is to cultivate a sense of personal power that serves as a driving force in our journey. Personal power is not about control over others, but mastery over ourselves, leading to fearless pursuits of our desires. Practices for embracing empowerment. Self-belief. The journey begins with believing in your own potential. Challenge self-doubt and replace it with self-belief, recognizing that you are indeed the creator of your own reality. Goal setting. Set clear and achievable goals that align with your vision. Break them down into manageable steps and celebrate each accomplishment along the way. Courageous action. Embrace the power of action. Step out of your comfort zone and take bold steps towards your goals, even in the face of fear. Now, all of these steps that we just mentioned, basically what they're doing is they're setting the tone for you to embrace that empowerment, that embodiment of your own internal personal power. Because without it, it's going to be difficult for you to pursue higher degrees of yourself. Because in order for you to solidify and stand tall and solid in your foundation, you need to have the embracing of your courage so that you can build the empowerment that is in fact necessary to cultivate the foundation of your self-mastery. So as you do more of these actions like self-belief and setting goals and keeping your word in these things and setting courageous action where you start doing things even when you feel slightly fearful or nervous or whatever, but you still push forward to do it. What happens is you're building the momentum of confidence because you are giving yourself the experiences that are going to validate that you indeed do have the power within you to succeed, to accomplish those little small goals or big ones, to actually believe in yourself because you have now witnessed actions that have been courageous, and now you start to believe in your own potential. Because it is only when we ourselves start to believe in ourselves that we can step truly into the embodiment of that power, which then creates the next one, resilience. Understand that setbacks are a natural part of any journey. Develop resilience by viewing obstacles as opportunities for growth and learning. This is with everything. When you experience anything in life, the resilience comes from you allowing yourself to experience what it is that you need to experience so that you can gain confidence in whatever it is that you're doing. You will not learn how to play a piano overnight. You have to practice and fail and do it over and over and over again until it becomes second nature for you to do so. And that while you're doing that work to learn how to play piano in this example, you are not getting down on yourself and giving up on yourself immediately because you understand the process. You understand that there's going to be good and bad days. You are understanding that there's going to be setbacks and moments that you naturally just flow. There's going to be the polarity of all of it happening in that experience. But by being prepared and ready to be resilient in your practices and all your endeavors and all your pursuits and all your goals, you are doing the work, whether messing up or not. But by doing one step at a time, you start building the bricks to then build the wall, to then build the building. That is how you build yourself up, your self-confidence, by allowing yourself to step into the embodiment of that personal power, by allowing yourself to be human, to be who you are, Nothing's going to be perfect right away. Allow yourself to fall, allow yourself to fail, and take each and every opportunity to observe it, to study it, to understand where you went wrong and where you can do better, to get the hang of it. As your body gets used to, let's say, playing the keys of the piano, it starts to become a little more effortless with each day that goes by. Therefore, you're not necessarily calling yourself a piano player, a pianist, but you are saying to yourself, I am in the process of learning to become a pianist, which is what we're doing here today. In the believing of ourselves and understanding that everything is possible if we believe in our own potential, so that we can step into that becoming of it by simply allowing ourselves to be in that moment, through the journey, through the steps, through the course, through the ups and through the downs. It's actually a beautiful process that allows itself to unfold right before your eyes. And if you maintain yourself present, you will allow yourself to fully embrace that process of reaching your empowerment. Because you are simply allowing yourself and flowing with the steps and the goals and the actions, even if they're small. You're taking one step at a time, and that's more than okay. That's more than nothing. Because remember, you are indeed being courageous by taking the first step to even try. Because worse is the regret of not doing it at all and not ever trying for yourself than at least knowing that I indeed tried. I put my all to it. Whether it works out or not, I know I tried, so I can't regret something that I gave an opportunity to try out, to know if that is something that actually works for me or not. You build confidence each and every time you experience things. But in order for you to build that, you need to allow yourself to experience life. And stop restricting yourself through the fears. Step into your full embodiment of that power that you have within you. Which brings us into the last one, continuous learning. Because it is always going to be continuous learning. Never stop learning. Seek knowledge and new skills that will aid you on your path to empowerment. Because the more you learn, the more empowered you feel. Because knowledge actually indeed becomes power, but only when you learn how to use it. If you only collect information and knowledge and do nothing with it, then it's the same as not getting it at all, if you're not going to do anything with the knowledge that you're receiving. So in this example, today you are receiving knowledge that's going to assist you to step into your full potential and in your full mastery of self. And it is up to you to be courageous enough to be consistent in your practices, to maintain the momentum of what we're doing here so that we can build the foundation that makes you who you are. Brings us into pursuing goals fearlessly, as embracing empowerment empowers you to fearlessly pursue your goals. It's about acknowledging your strength, accepting your weaknesses, and relentlessly pushing forward no matter the challenge. Even if you have to take a little break, make sure you get right back up and keep doing those steps forward, because each step will count the same way each brick in a wall counts, the same way that wall then turns into a building, the same way that building turns to a whole castle. It depends on what you want to build, and understanding that even if you have to take your time and you have to do it for however it works for you, don't stop moving forward. Now, what are the benefits of embracing empowerment? The first one is motivation. It ignites motivation and drive to pursue your goals and dreams with unwavering determination. Because once we start the momentum, the engine, the drive, the fuel, right, we start going forward, we're going. And as we go, we get bigger and amplify that empowerment, that belief in self, that confidence, that self-assurance, right? Because we are allowing ourselves to maintain the consistency that is needed to build that empowerment, to say, you know what? I've been doing 5 weeks of this course and I've been unstoppable and I've been consistent and I've been sticking to the program. I've been sticking to the business because I am truly going to make sure that I reach my goals, and I am going to remove everything that takes me off the direction that I want to align myself with, right? You have to be empowered. You have to embody your own power to be in that state of motivation for yourself, because you have to first become your number one motivator. You have to be your cheerleader. You have to be your nurse. You have to be your mother. You have to be your big sister. You have to be your coach. You have to be that for yourself first. You have to start talking to yourself like you're that for yourself first, so that in doing so, that momentum is being built, which takes us into the next one, which we already discussed, which is the resilience. Empowerment fosters resilience, helping you bounce back from setbacks and adversities with a positive attitude. Because when you step into that resilience, you understand that life is happening for you and not to you, and everything that you experience is only going to make you better, is only going to make you stronger, is only going to make you more wiser, because you're making sure that you use everything that you experience, everything that you have allowed yourself to see or try as information that you can use for your direction, because you have already made the decision to move forward. Now you have more information as to how to get there, because you're not allowing none of the experiences in your life, whether they were challenging or failures or chaotic or whatever you want to give it its meaning. You're not going to allow it to go into waste, because you know that you learn to, one, believe in yourself, because you've allowed yourself to see how you were able to overcome it. You believe in your ability to actually get it done, because now you've have enough situations that hey, you know what? I actually got to manage that all by myself. That is when you start to realize that you're stepping into your full embodiment. Therefore, you learn to embrace your embodiment, which allows you to then become fearless, which brings us to the next one. As you become more fearless, unafraid of stepping out of your comfort zone and facing new opportunities. Now you become more willing to do things that might make you a little uncomfortable, because you know how rewarding is going to feel once you do it, once you overcome it, once you try it, because you're not going to be restricted by your fears and your limiting mindsets and attitudes and seeing the worst case scenario. Now you're stepping into full empowerment and you're saying, I got this. Whether it goes left or right, I'll be okay. And if I'm not okay, I'll be okay after, because everything is cyclical and everything has seasons and everything comes full circle. So the balancing of the scale always occurs. So even if it doesn't look like I'm doing good now, I know it can't get any worse than this. So when I do good, I'm going to do real good. If I went this low, I'm only going to go high from here, right? You start changing the way you see life, because you're no longer afraid of life. You start embracing life. You start enjoying life. You start accepting what life is. You start being okay with whatever it is, because you know you'll be okay. And it brings us to the next one. It gives you a sense of control. You feel more in control of your life and circumstances, leading to a greater sense of autonomy. Because now you're no longer being controlled by your assumptions and your fears and your conditioning and your programming. You are just allowing yourself to be who you are, within all situation, obstacles, challenges, adversities, experiences, opportunities, everything. You're just being okay with whatever is. It is what it is. Only you can give it the meaning of what you want it to be. You can see it as the worst thing that can happen to you, or you can see it as, this is the best challenge that has now built another layer of confidence in me, because if I can overcome this, now I know I can overcome anything. So who's going to stop me then? You see? It's all about perception. It is your choice how you want to perceive your experiences. The way your attitude is the way that you're going to experience and define what is occurring in your life. So therefore, are you giving your power away, or are you remaining in it? Because if you have self-control of your life, you know that on a higher perspective, on a grander picture, on outside the box, you are indeed in control of what's occurring, because there's always a reason behind it if you learn how to look for that pattern, that reason, and that lesson. And once you gain the lesson, you start to realize, oh, right, that had to happen, because if this had not happened, how was I going to be triggered to experience my fear that I had at 15 again, ever, if this situation right here was not orchestrated in my favor so that life can happen for me and not to me, so that in that challenge, that energy from when I was 15, that emotional state, that fear that still lingered within me, that restricted me from feeling empowered, how was that energy going to resurface outside of me if I was not in this situation right now at this very moment and present moment in time, so that I can be triggered and I can now transcend it, so that I can overcome it, so that I can now reframe it, so that I can now transfer it, so that I can now transmute it. There's so much you can do. But right there is your choice. You are in control of how you want to perceive life, and you want to be in control of what you want to do with the energies and the emotional states that you are embodying in that very moment, as we learned in the previous lessons. Bringing us into the last benefit of self-mastery, which is exactly what self-mastery is. Allowing yourself to experience life and be so self-mastered in yourself that instead of allowing your emotional state, your circumstances, your challenges and adversities and all of these things that could occur to control who you are, you remain solid in your foundation that is rooted deep, so that it can hold the ground steady, so that throughout any course of life, you remain in your position and you decide what you want to do with the experiences that you encounter, what you want to do with the emotional states that you experience. I've given you a few ways. At level 1, I can only give you a few ways, but at level 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and up, there's massive amount of things that we can do with life, because life is actually a gift that's giving us things that if we knew what to do with it, we will never complain. We will see it as an opportunity to now gain another source of wisdom, another source of energy, another source of imagination, of ideas, of inspiration, of motivation, of drive, of ambition, of love. Right? It's better to have those things and not have any of it at all, because we were too scared to push forward and experience life fully. Because self-mastery is one of the benefits, because empowerment is about mastering yourself, leading to a greater understanding of your strength and weaknesses. Because once we step into self-awareness, we know where our weaknesses lies and where our strengths are, and we maneuver and navigate life according to that which we know of the self. Because the goal is to know who we are throughout the courses of all of these circumstances, through the full spectrum and the degrees of our emotional states. And who do we become after that is the test. Are you going to allow life to dictate who you're going to become because you want to play the victim? Or are you going to allow life to be the source of why you became the victor of it? Therefore, you step into your full mastery, where you are now in your autonomy and sovereignty, and now you are mastering yourself and not the emotional states and the external reality that you experience. Bringing us into our conclusion. As we conclude part 3 of embracing empowerment in our journey of cultivating personal power, you're stepping into the realm of fearless pursuit. Empowerment is not about external control, but internal mastery. It's the force that propels you towards your desires, and by embracing it, you open the door to a life lived to the fullest. Remember, empowerment is the key to facing your dreams without fear or hesitation, and it's within your reach to harness your transformative force. Bringing us into our question for our community, what is one small but significant step you can take today to further cultivate your personal power? Now, make sure you share the question on our community so we can all have discussions and see how we can relate and celebrate each other's goals and accomplishments. And just like all the other lessons, I'd like to give a disclaimer of the possible challenges that can occur while doing the lessons that we just discussed. So the first one we have here is overcoming self-doubt, as building self-esteem can be hindered by persistent self-doubt and negative self-talk. Overcoming these inner challenges requires patience and self-compassion. For number 2, we have resistance to change. Setting boundaries may be met with resistance from others who are accustomed to different dynamics. It can be challenging to navigate these conflicts while maintaining our boundaries. For number 3, we have fear of failure. Embracing empowerment often means taking risks and stepping outside of your comfort. The fear of failure can be a significant barrier to this process. Number 4, balancing boundaries. Finding the right balance between setting boundaries and remaining open and flexible in relationships can be challenging. Maintaining this balance is an ongoing practice. Number 5, consistency. Maintaining the practice of self-esteem, boundary setting, and empowerment over time can be challenging. It requires commitment and a willingness to persist in the face of obstacles. Number 6, fear of judgment. Expressing empowerment may lead to judgment and criticism from others. Learning to manage this fear of judgment can be a part of the journey. Number 7, cultural and social norm. Cultural and social norm may challenge the establishment of certain boundaries or the pursuit of empowerment, making it essential to find alignment with personal values. Number 8, fears of isolation. Setting boundaries and pursuing personal empowerment may lead to a fear of isolation from those who do not align with these changes. Balancing these dynamics is key. Now, understand that these challenges are common but not insurmountable. They are an integral part of the transformative journey, and addressing them can lead to significant personal growth. And to finish, as all the lessons, my information will be here as well as our social information so that you can support, follow, and share and like and keep the growth of this community. Thank you.